Good morning all. Yeah, it's great to be here. What I'm hoping to speak to you today is I'm hoping to speak to you about our family business, Glenisk, and how we make sustainability a little bit of our everyday life in business and how it's grown and interwoven in our life over the years. I'm from a place called County Offaly, which is in the middle of Ireland, and just to maybe give you a little bit of history of who we are and what we're about. As I said, yes, we're a family business. We produce yoghurt, which we sell to the Republic of Ireland, UK, and to further afield as well. Just to give you a little bit of history or flavour about the business, it was set up nearly 30 years ago today by my late dad, Gerard Cleary. And I suppose Dad set it up for a couple of reasons. One, he was milking a large dairy herd of about 250 cows on a daily basis. And secondly, he had quite a large family. I've got 13 siblings altogether. So Dad probably had two assets on his hands, or maybe an asset and a liability. And he was wondering of ways of adding value to this, because I suppose he was a little bit tired and cheesed off of seeing the milk being collected by the local creamery and bringing it off far under, and he wasn't adding value to the milk. And also in the mid-80s, it was probably bleak times, recessionary times as well, and he wanted the opportunity to create he wanted to have an opportunity to create jobs for his family as well. So he set about travelling the length and breadth of Europe, and he came back with the idea of producing a yoghurt, and hence Glenisk was born. Now, it comes from the name, on the Irish name or the Gaelic name, on Glan Ishka, the stream flowing through the woods, which is a small woodland just behind our family farm. So Dad managed the farm and the yoghurt business until he passed away in 1995. Now, it was then myself and my four siblings took over the business. And we were, I suppose, the worker bees on a daily basis, but we hadn't a clue how to manage or run a business. I remember one of our first meetings with our accountants, and they told us, guys, your turnover is about £100,000. You're going nowhere. And their advice to us was basically pack up and go try and work for someone else. Now, our naivety probably worked for us in a way that we said, how dare they tell us what to do? Like, how would they know about what we believe in? And we really basically just rolled up our sleeves. We put whatever small personal savings we had into the business. We bought some second-hand capital equipment to put a sort of contemporary look on some of our products. And we started to sort of slowly work in. We're wearing many hats, working morning, noon and night, just to try to get the business up and running and get the wolf away from the door. Fortunately, that slowly but surely worked for us, and we started to see our business grow. We were amongst trying to sell to customers where we were competing against large multinational companies as well. And we were trying to make our place within that particular yoghurt industry as well. We were finding it very difficult, and we knew we needed to do something different, radical, for us to create a USP for ourselves to get us out there as well. We always kept in mind our dad's principles of producing product with no additives and with no additives and preservatives, but we wanted to go a stage further. So we then went and travelled the length and breadth of Europe, and we came back with the idea of producing our product to organic standards as well. So we converted part of our range to organic, and in year one, and year two, we converted all of our range to organic. Now, this was about the year 2000 when organic was relatively heard of in Ireland at the time. But people started to question where their food was coming from. There was various food scares around Ireland and the UK, BSC, foot and mouth, etc. So the traceability of food became more and more questionable. People want to know more about it. Supermarkets started to explore the opportunity of taking in organics, and fortunately we were there at the right time and the right place. And as a result, we started to see our business grow, and that trajectory was upwards over the few years after that as well. Today, Glenisk is about a 20 million euro company, still relatively small. We're employing about 70 people, and we're the largest manufacturer of yoghurt now in the island of Ireland, and the second largest when it comes to market share as well. We export about 15% of our turnover to the UK, Middle East, and as far away as Singapore as well. Over the years, we've seen our brand name become more and more established in Ireland. And one thing we used to look at was the local grocery magazine in Ireland, Checkout, which recognises and values the top 10,000 brands in Ireland. And we used to look, I suppose, in awe of where they published the top 100 brands to see where we would actually stand. We broke into that top 100 brand in about 2010, and now we're the 15th most popular brand in Ireland. So how do we get from our humble beginnings when we took over the business from our dad's time to where we are today? Well, I suppose the first place that we ever looked at was the product we produce. We always wanted the best ingredients to source in our product. So quality was first and foremost the number one pointer out there with taste of a product. But we did find that we were doing this for maybe 20 of our 30 years existence, and we weren't getting out there. What we realised we weren't doing, we weren't giving our message to the consumer of what Glenisk was about. And one of the messages was what we believe in, what the Glenisk stands for. So we believed in sustainability was one of the angles that we looked at showing to the customer that we don't just talk the talk in what we do, but we walk the walk as well in believing in our product, getting the best of each particular aspect of our company to be sustainable in its way. So one area, I suppose, which is the biggest thing when it comes to manufacturing companies is the use of packaging in a product. We try to source environmentally friendly packaging in each and every one of our lines. We had a challenge I'll show up this example. We had a challenge in one of our lines that we brought out a product where we needed to show the consumer the visual aspect or impact of the product or qualities of the product of a layered yogurt. Now, as a small company, we found it very difficult to spend too much money on research and development. But what we did was we gave the challenge out to our suppliers to say, can you come up with something that works with our criteria and works with what's best for us? So we just got them to look at different types of packaging so we could sort of stand up and say to the consumer, listen, we're a small company, but we're not just going to give you number 5 type PP plastic, but we got a number 1 PET pot for themselves as well. So that just showed us like one particular small aspect of our business where we were willing to invest, take that calculated risk of not trying to just, as I said, talk the talk, but trying to walk the walk in every aspect of our business as well. So responsible packaging is one area that we look at trying to source the best for our companies. We always try to lend out or put an arm out with our suppliers and get them. We've working with our suppliers for maybe the last 10, 15 years as well. So we've teamed up with them and we get them to go out, do the hard work for us, be part of our R&D team so we can get the best for our products, which we can forward on to our customers as well. Another area where we look at seeing what's best for our image is in the area of our manufacturing. Now, as I said, we have about 65 people employed for us, but there's about 40 people directly employed in our manufacturing. We are producing about 10,000 tonnes of product on an annual basis. So with that, there is a substantial amount of waste washed down on a daily basis as well. We looked at, I suppose, utilising the assets that surrounded our rural facility in Ireland to see how we could make the most of them. We had about a 4-hectare patch at the back of our plant, and we decided to build a reed bed there which would work with the waste that we were producing in the plant to recycle it in an environmentally friendly way as possible. We also erected a wind turbine on that particular reed bed system as well, so that it would help the electric flow in the reed bed to power some of the turbines, etc. as well. What we found that once we told our consumer it became part of our story as well, and we weren't shy about telling this to our consumer as well, where we have it on the side of our pack of what we believe in, directing them to the website to say that Glenisk just doesn't throw out widgets for the sake of it and give a damn about the environment, but it actually cares for an environment and it's willing to put money into it. It might be a slow return on investment, but it's another thing for us to say that we're here for the long run and the long term, and we believe in what we're doing. So as the caption said, we're basically letting nature do the work for us as well. Another area of where Glenisk tries to be sustainable as possible is the logistics side of things. 10, 12 years ago, we had our own fleet of rockety old vans travelling the length and breadth of the country, selling our products as well. And it didn't augur well for the image that we were trying to portray. So we teamed up with some of the bigger transporter. Central Distribution obviously came into a bigger part in Ireland and the UK as well, where we didn't see empty lorries going from A to B and back again, but they were loaded both ways as well. So that helped reduce our CO2 footprint by half, like that as well. We also invested into a fleet of electric vehicles as well, which basically what we do is when we're at various trade shows, sampling shows as well, in-store promotions, we would show to the customer that we have invested in some electric vehicles as well. That is part of our images as well. So it's all about, we find, about investing in what we believe in, but also making sure that the customer is aware for it as well. I suppose as our generation grew up and we moved into having kids ourselves, we wanted to give the best to them as well. Now, we had to be sustainable in our approach as well in the products that we deliver, because we didn't want to, I suppose, put in any sort of tripe or bad ingredient in our product, but we wanted to make sure that we were giving the best to our product as well. So, like what I suppose the challenge is with all the food companies is in the world is how to make your product as palatable to the consumer as possible, but as clean as possible as well. So we invested heavily on looking at reducing the sugar levels in our products, which we have worked again with our suppliers, our people that provide us with cultures for our yogurts as well, and we've come up with some patented ideas that have allowed us to use products as well that do not require the same amount of sugar as before, but still are acceptable to palates from juniors right up to seniors as well. So it shows to us that we're always looking to try to innovate. We're not just happy with what we're actually doing as well. We're, as a small to medium-sized company, we can't let R&D become too much of a big bubble, but we have to try to minimise the failures and maximise the opportunities as well. And that's what I think has helped us grow to where we are today as well. One other area that I suppose where we like to capture sustainability is in our meaningful corporate social responsibility. We always believe in giving back to the consumers, giving back to various charities, etc. as well. And it gives the good feeling, and when we create a good feeling that Glenisk is not always a taker, but they're a giver to society as well. And we've teamed up with various charities, NGOs around Ireland as well. What we did find that has been very successful for us is that we sell about 500,000 packs of product on a weekly basis as well. So we always have that opportunity of a billboard opportunity of on our sleeves or our pots of yogurt as well, to get a message to consumer that's in fashion, just to get our message to them in a more frequent way and a more direct way as well. And this has worked well for us. For example, for the month of October, we changed all our packaging to a pink colour, which is normally it's a greeny blue colour as well, because we've teamed up with a local charity called the Mary Keating Foundation, which supports the identifying breast cancer throughout the Isles as well. So that shows to us that sort of we believe in what we're doing. We're willing to put our money back into helping awareness for good causes as well. So I suppose really to summarise, sustainability for ourselves is not just about the environment, but it's a little bit about each aspect of our business. It's how we can get best bang for our buck in each particular sector of our business, so that overall it creates a powerful image of the Glenisk and the Glenisk name of products that we assign ourselves into as well. We find that we like to think of our consumers that when they buy into Glenisk, they don't just buy a product and discard it, but they buy into a little bit in what we believe in. So we're constantly trying to get that message across that Glenisk has been here from the generation past, and it will continue to be here for the generation to come as well. Thank you very much.